Dalton told me to go, so I'm going to go here. TexAgs Rewind, David Nuno, presented by T-Mobile. Appreciate them. It was Pass It Back Day. Thanks to our friends at the Association of Former Students. We kind of talked about our Aggie ring and what it means to us and what it means to you out there. Charean Williams always breaking down the Aggies and the way they played this past weekend, obviously against Auburn, and now with Ole Miss coming ahead and the Aggies in the NFL as well. Andrew Monaco stopped by the studio. We love ourselves some Andrew Monaco, and we got to know Ole Miss thanks to our buddy Brad Logan.
Can a guy like me that did not go to Texas A&M, obviously can't be a former student and all that, but just like A&M, can they contribute?
Hey, you're an Aggie. Gifts of any amount today, make it count. It's all about donors. So I have a donor goal. So yes, any gift. You can make a gift for someone else. We have an opportunity to sponsor a current Student Century Club membership to help start and cultivate the tradition of giving. So we know as Aggies, we like to give back and help one another. And that's a great opportunity. For just $25, you can start a student in the Century Club membership. They get their plaque, year bars. So you can start growing that list of year bars. Or you can gift it for someone else. I just made a gift actually for my dad. My parents live in Boston. They're not Aggies. I'm the only Aggie in my family. But I made a gift for them, and they got their Century Club plaque, and they're going to get their Texas Aggie magazine so they can represent and put their decal on their car, Century Club decal, when they're up in Boston driving around. So yes, anyone, gifts of any size are welcome on this day.
Hey, Allison, let's talk about the impact of the association. If people want to see what you guys do and why this goes such a long way, what do they need to do?
Yeah, so you can go on our website, tx.ag/passitbackday. But in general, the association touches every aspect of campus. If you've gone to Midnight Yell, if you've gone to the MSC, if you've participated in muster, our gifts to the association touch all aspects of campus. They touch all Aggies. We support current students. We support former students. We have our class reunions, A&M clubs that help unite the Aggie network and help keep those connections together and help that bond stay strong between our former students in Texas A&M. We give out scholarships. We have student assistance funds. There's a variety of ways that our money touches, again, campus, whether it's current students or former students. We've had a great relationship with Texas A&M over the years, and it continues to grow.
We're good. We're celebrating Pass It Back Day and having stories about what the Aggie ring means and whatnot. So I thought I'd start off with that for you. What does your Aggie ring mean to you?
Well, the really cool thing was when I got a Distinguished Alum a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, whatever it's been, time flies, they gave me a crest that I also put on a necklace. So, like, today, if I'm walking or running or playing golf or doing something, I can have that and represent what it means to be an Aggie. And, I hope it, to me at least, it reminds me to live up to our core values that are so important in life. But it also helps us connect with other Aggies, which I think also is so important. It's just so cool to be able to see a ring and know that's your fellow Aggie, and you feel like you have a kinship there immediately.
Too. Let's get into the Aggies in the NFL. Who are your top ones out there?
Well, we're going to go third. We're going to go Miles. The Browns had the big victory over the Bengals. He had 2 tackles, a sack and a half, 3 quarterback hits. And he leads the NFL. Guess what? With 12 sacks, T.J. Watt made up some ground with 3 sacks last night. But Miles right now leads the NFL with 12 sacks. I just voted on my midseason AP team, and I put Miles as Defensive Player of the Year. So he's probably in the lead for that right now. So needs to hold on and keep sacking the quarterback to get that. Number 2, I'm going to go with Ryan Tannehill. Didn't play great, but 19 of 27, 143 yards, touchdown, interception. He ran for a touchdown. It was enough for the Titans, again, with the way they played defense. Had a pick six and almost another pick six, but that was a huge victory for them to beat the Rams. And number 1, Christian Kirk. I mean, how about the Cardinals' victory over the 49ers? They didn't have Kyler Murray, A.J. Green, DeAndre Hopkins. Christian Kirk was it. He threw 1 for 1 for 33 yards down to the 1-yard line. Too bad that wasn't a touchdown. Caught 6 passes for 91 yards. Their leading receiver really led the way for that Cardinals offense, missing all their big stars. So those are the 3 this week for the Aggies.
Great stuff, Charean. Thank you so much. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so it is Pass It Back Day. We're talking about what the Aggie ring means to you. You told me at the break that your son is an Aggie. So when you see that ring and you see it all around campus, what does it signify to you?
Absolutely. Earn. The first word is earn. You can't go out and buy one. You can't order one online. You have to earn it. And I think when you look at that, everything that you have done here at A&M, and you know what? What if you're the first one to get an Aggie ring in your family? You take a look at that every single time. It reminds you. But it's my favorite picture of my son is when he got the Aggie ring and he's looking at it for the first time. It is just absolutely special. Just a great day. And I love that all his friends, and he was going to other ceremonies. Friends were coming to his. A close friend gave him his ring. I just think it's special. And then to go on the road with all the teams that I go on the road, and when Aggies see the other ring and they get that conversation, the Aggie family, something special.
You're something special too, my friend. I appreciate you.
You are kind. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
The voice of the Aggies, Andrew Monaco, here in studio. All
well,
right,
if
guys.
you'll remember against Liberty, Ole Miss opens the game with a Jarean 70-yard touchdown run, one of their best running backs. It was a huge. They could have drove a truck through it. After that, no explosive plays on the ground. And I think that goes back to the injuries that Ole Miss has on the offensive side of the ball, specifically at quarterback with Matt Corral and also that offensive line. So, Liberty really packed that line of scrimmage just like Wesley McGriff did with Auburn last week, really limited that Ole Miss rushing attack. To answer your question, absolutely not. Matt Corral will not be 100%. I think if Ole Miss would be lucky to have him 60 to 70%. I do think he can run the football. It's not near as effective as he's been all year, and that has really limited this Ole Miss attack. I think what Texas A&M defensively is going to do is very similar to what Wesley McGriff did at Auburn. He's going to pack the box. He's going to force Matt Corral to throw the football, and he's going to put some of his corners on an island with these receivers that right now they're very inexperienced. Specifically, if Ole Miss does not get its receiving core back, it's going to be forced to throw the ball to some transfers from junior college, some freshmen, and unfortunately, it's going to have a running attack that's going to be going up a really good defensive front for Texas A&M, and I think he's going to pack that. He being Jimbo Fisher is going to put 8 in the box and force Ole Miss to throw the football because I don't know that they can run it against this attack with that offensive line is beat up as it is.
All right, what about game day coming out there? It's the biggest game on the schedule, in our opinion, obviously, with what is at stake for both programs. Just how is Oxford rallying around that, and just what kind of atmosphere can we expect?
It's a cautious optimism, David. And that's one thing I had a chance to visit with a couple of media members just a couple of days ago. If you look at this Ole Miss football team, they're 7-2, and you would think you would have a fan base that's just enthusiastic. It's really excited about game day. There's just so many unanswered questions. And specifically the way the Rebels played the last 2 games, winning the game against Liberty, but going into the halftime 24-0 and only scoring 3 points in the second half, allowing Malik Willis to score 14 points in the the third quarter, and really letting them back in the game. In fact, Liberty was driving late in the game, and Malik Willis throws the interception with about a minute to go. If that happens, Liberty has a chance to kick that onside kick and make it very uncomfortable. But Ole Miss did a nice job of securing the win. It's just cautious. I mean, game day came to Ole Miss in 2014, I believe, with Katy Perry. It was a big deal. At that point, Chris Fowler was there. He was the main guy. Everybody had the bow tie on, and it was a big event. It's almost like they've kind of been there before. So people are excited about game day, but I think they're more cautiously optimistic because of the injuries, not knowing who's going to come back. Look, if Ole Miss gets its full complement of wide receivers back, completely changes the dynamic of the game. I do think there's a great chance that Braylon Sanders plays and that Dontario Drummond plays. I don't think Jonathan Mingo will come back this week. I do think it will be a game-time decision against Mississippi State and possibly a bowl game. At the end of the day, they need that offensive line to come back. They need Cedric Melton to step up and play well. They need Jordan Rhodes to transfer to play left guard and to play well. The good news, the 2 bookend tackles, Nick Broker and Jeremy James, have been playing very well. At the end of the day, they've got to have some help up front with Umana. They've got to have some help with right guard and Chase Rogers, and also the right guard Cedric Melton. The 2 young guys have to come back and play, and they have to have some depth if Ole Miss is going to have a chance to win this game.
I missed the days of doing the rewind from the producer's room, the director's room, but Dalton kicked me out. So that means that you guys all have to like, share, comment, and whatever else you're supposed to do. Appreciate you watching the TexAgs Rewind presented by T-Mobile.